course, we know that the Africa Development Bank is holding its 5-day meeting talking about energy and climate change, as well as other issues that require very prompt attention from the Development Bank. Channel's business news editor, Bosun Omofaye, is live in Lusaka. Of course, he's part of conversations there as they happen, and we'll be talking to him right now to get a sense of where all these conversations have been going. Good morning to you, Bosun. Thank you so much for joining me.
Good morning, Harriet.
I hope you are enjoying the weather in Lusaka. In spite of the many issues that have come up, it's still a little. You should take a little time out to see the sights and enjoy the scene in Lusaka.
Well, I hope so. There's quite a lot to cover here, and as you said, energy is the key conversation here, and the entire 1 week is narrowing down to energy, because whether you're talking about jobs for the youths or access to finance for women, or you're talking climate change, it all boils down to energy infrastructure that Africa sorely needs. So the entire conversation is all around energy access, how to rethink the strategy to provide sustainable energy for the continent. 600 million people still in energy deficit.
Well, as you're talking about stepping up the quest for power, of course, some of the dailies from some of the Zambian dailies are already talking about that, stepping up the quest for power. What action plans are they putting together? Yes, it's just been 3 days since deliberations started, but already the conversation is hot.
Well, if I can put it in the words of Dr. Mo Ibrahim of the Ibrahim Foundation yesterday, he's worried about where the $112 billion Africa energy funding will come from. And he was worried when he was on a panel, on a roundtable of the head of state yesterday, and Nigeria's vice president was also there to talk about the state of energy in Africa. And you can see one head of state after the other, from Tanzania, from Chad, from Zimbabwe, from Zambia here with President Edgar Lungu, is all about the energy deficit, the problems with fossil fuel, the challenges with rainfall. When you talk about hydro in a country like Zambia that hasn't seen good rainfall in 2 years, and there's serious energy deficit. Or you're talking about Ethiopia and a few other African countries, or in Zimbabwe. Having a conversation later this afternoon with the campaign manager for an organization called Power for All in Zimbabwe, and she'll be talking to us about what they're doing for bringing power to poor people within the bottom of the pyramid in South Zimbabwe and Southern Africa. Now, if you look back to the newspaper, you talk about the dailies are all about the energy issue, from the front pages to the inside pages. We need $92 billion infrastructure gap. Some put it at $112 billion. But if you look at today, early today, there was a new coalition of energy private sector companies, civil societies, releasing a new report, which we'll be talking about, on how the African Development Bank, headed by Akinwumi Adesina, need to rethink its energy access strategy for the continent. So wherever we go, it is how to unlock Africa's potential via energy provision.
But then, talking about unlocking of these potentials, you need funds. And so what are they saying with regards getting funds to power this very laudable project?
You're very correct. It all comes down to whatever currencies you're going to use, whether it's in dollars or euros or any other currency, whatever you want to use. And because where would we find this money? Where would Africa find about $112 billion US dollars? So now, putting heads together, one of the solutions that the African leaders and business community will be talking about is how to find this money. Now, this afternoon, you have a very major panel, or if you call it events, with the AfDB by the Japanese. The Japanese are here in full force between 12 o'clock and 3 o'clock for 3 hours today. There's going to be an energy access and quality infrastructure in Africa. The Japanese main organizations are here, JBIC, the JETRO, the JICA. They are going to weigh in here. The Japanese are here. The Bank for International Cooperation, the External Trade Organization for Japan, and the Cooperation Agency. All they're going to talk about, how can we get help in terms of sustainable energy funding, provision, technical expertise from the Asians, the Japanese to be more precise. So energy access and quality of infrastructure is what the Japanese will be coming into. Africa would need to now find a way to fund, as you put it, these huge projects. Maybe not the way we've been trying to think about it in a very big way, but how to break it down to smaller units that we can quickly ramp up and get energy access, one for industrialization, two for domestic consumption. Howard.
Well, thank you so much, Bosin, for bringing us up to speed with what talks have been like at the AfDB meetings. Of course, we'll keep touch with you and continue to track those developments. Channel's Business News editor, Bosin Omofaye, joining us live from Lusaka, Zambia, venue of where the Africa AfDB meetings, annual meetings are taking